everybody. My name is Lewis Lee, and this is Planning Traffic. We do this every Thursday night, 9 o'clock Eastern Time. So tell all your people that are in the cars, boats, trucks, anything you put gas in, we talk about it here on Planning Traffic. We got my man Ray. We got my man Joe, special guest from Garage Squad and Builders Brawl. What's up, Joe?
Hey, what's going on, guys? How are you?
Pleasure to have you on, Joe.
Thank you for having me.
Hey, we've been trying to get Joe on for a couple years now, but he's been ducking me. But we got him.
Oh, no, come on.
Joe, I'll tell you, it's like we always say on the radio show, tell us how happy you are after the show is over, like not before, because let's get through it first.
Right. Hey, that's all right. You guys don't feel bad. I had a podcast one time. I was so busy. Twice it was scheduled, and it went right past me, and I was just working.
Really?
Yeah. And I'm like, oh, I felt so bad. I did, but I made sure that I fixed the problem, but I felt bad. I'm just a busy guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Hey, you know what? We appreciate you being busy because you're doing good work. Builders Brawl looks good. I mean, you're doing your thing. We appreciate you.
Thank you. Thank you for appreciating the work and noticing the work I put in. I put in a lot of work in this stuff,
Yeah. You kind of lose track of that because you're so busy and you're into the mode of, doing your thing. So you kind of miss that people are watching you and enjoying your content. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get what you're saying. And I'll be honest with you. I've been so busy lately in the shop and dealing with Builders Brawl and so much other stuff that I haven't put content up here in about a week and a half, 2 weeks. I just been so busy, but I got to get on it because I got people messaging me, when am I going to put another video out? And I do a lot of videos, about car stuff too, but I will say that I had a fan reach out to me and he brought up a good point that I did not realize until he pointed it out here like about a month ago. He says, you're the only television gearhead that actually gets on social media and just talks about whatever, life, people screwing you, bad shops, good shops, tech tips, and I didn't realize it, but I'm like, yeah, there is nobody on Motor Trend at all that actually just, gets on and just spits out what they're thinking and wears their heart on their sleeve. I mean, everybody is so, I guess the word I want to use is afraid to be themselves. And I'm just not that guy. I'm going to be me and take me or leave me.
I was going to say that when you go on your rants sometimes, you're being for real. You know what I mean? And I caught that too. I was going to say that, but you just brought it up.
Well, tell you what, now listen, when I go on my rants now, okay, I ain't going to lie. There's times I got to hit stop and re-record because I get fired up, and usually the first one is more rated R than it is by the time I make it to the second or third one to do because, I try to keep it on the down low for the younger generation. But with the way the younger generation's going, I don't think saying shit once in a while is going to affect anything they're doing. It's pretty bad. But I try to keep it, PG as possible.
Right.
And, but yeah, I mean, the guy pointed it out, and after, 10, 11 years, I never really thought about it until he said it. And I'm like, yeah, there's nobody on social media in the TV gearhead land that actually just talks like I'm talking to you guys right now.
Right.
It's always seems to be smoke and mirrors, you know what I mean? And I'm not that guy,
Yeah. You know what? I appreciate that because the way you are on social media and on TV, you're the same in person. So when I see you at shows and stuff, it's like, hey, he's for real.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, man, I'm old school. I grew up in a shop slinging wrenches and ball busting all day, every day. I mean, that's what got us mechanics, through the day, laughing, joking, boys being boys, in the shop kind of thing. And, so, I mean, I got some pretty thick skin and I like hanging around people that can take a joke and give one. That's just who I am.
And that always came through on the shows, especially on Garage Squad. It did come through because it caught my attention because being from New York, I mean, that's how we grew up. You know, it's like you really like just kick the shit out of your best friends, you know, and you were
Yeah.
polite to other people, you know. So I honed right in on that and said, hey, who is this guy? Because, you know, where's he from?
Yeah.
So,
And you wouldn't believe how much they held me back on the show. I mean, you wouldn't believe how much they patrolled and, you know, had to cut the scene and, you know, Joey, you can't say that, you can't do that. And I'm like, what, you know? So you know, I grew up, you know, more roughneck, you know, type life, rough around the edges, you know, plowboy kind of thing, you know, mechanic, you know. So I don't, you know, I'm not soft like some of these people today. I'm just
Right.
not that guy. And so yeah, it was interesting always having to watch what come out of my mouth when I'm joking around on set and on camera, because I would screw it up all the time.
know,
I go too far.
I'll tell you the truth. I have a hard time faking it. I'm not good at it. So,
Yeah.
which leads me to ask the question: how hard or how much trouble did you have doing the show with the different people that were in the different casts in different seasons that you had to get along with and work with, and then the clientele and the customers too was another aspect.
Yeah, you know, I mean, for the most part, for me, it was just business. I mean, I go there, I get paid to do a job, I do a job, I go home, you know, kind of thing. But in the beginning, I put a lot of heart and soul into the show. So, and then in the beginning, you're learning who's who and what's what, you know, different personalities and everything. And some personalities clash. I mean, anybody that watches Garage Squad thinks that it was always a bowl of cherries and everybody was getting along and high five, and you're delusional. I mean, let's be honest. We just didn't show it. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, we are in a very high stress environment.
Yeah.
We're hustling to get these cars done. We're trying to keep the owners happy. The owner's wondering what's going on because you have this, you know, 25, you know, production crew, you know, in his house, on his garage, on his property, you know.
Yeah.
So, you know, he's kind of, you know, wired, you know, and then plus I'm wired because, you know, like in the beginning, I'm responsible for all the parts. I'm responsible for who does what, who says what, you know, what we're doing to the cars, how far we're going with them, you know, so I was responsible for everything. So, of course, I mean, reality would be, yeah, of course we're banging heads. You know, I mean, we're working over the top of one another. I can remember one time there was me, Ronnie, and Cy all on the same side of the fender, all in the engine compartment, crawling over the top of one another, hustling to get things done.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's the kind of environment that we were in, but we were good at it. And so it takes a special kind of gearhead to be able to live that life and do that every day nonstop. And then when you're done with the car, yay, it comes out of the garage, and then boom, next day start on another one.
I'll tell you something. I was always scared to shit at the end of the show, you know, waiting for the cue. The garage door's going to go up. And I figured, oh my God, when's the day that the guy in the car's going to freak out and hit the gas instead of the brake? And like most of the crowd of people, I was waiting for that.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you how many times me and Bruno are standing there. Yeah, oh my God, stop. You know? It happened. Oh yeah, all the time. Yeah, it happened. And but you know, I mean, we've done a lot of cool things for a lot of people. I got to meet a lot of cool people. I loved it. I loved doing it. You know, but at the end of the day, it was like anything else. You know, you got your job, you got your good days, you got your bad days, you got your days you're clashing with the boss, and you got the days, you know, you're high-fiving one another. Like I said, I mean, it was a real work environment and high stress. I loved it, but I'll be honest with you, when just to be blunt, when they said it's over, I was like, okay. I wasn't even upset. I tell you what, I was more upset about the fact that when the producer called me that day, he talked to me for a half hour about COVID and then said, oh, hey, by the way, our show's canceled. True story. That's exactly how I found out.
Yeah, you know, that's a word that I wish would disappear from this freaking language, right? You know, my wife and I, every day we're railing about because everything is blamed on COVID. It's still COVID, the pandemic. Shut the fuck up already. Stop. It's over. But now now you watch back, you're watching TV and you catch old episodes of stuff and everybody's wearing masks and gloves. Like, oh, shut it off.
Yeah. Well, that was part of the deal. In order for us to keep working, we had to agree to those terms. And I was kind of on the fence about it. I mean, how are we going to make this look good on camera, But at the end of the day, there was people that were still willing during COVID for us to come to their house under the situation. And keep in mind, we're dealing with this in the beginning of COVID, deciding if we're going to film during COVID before anybody knew anything about what it was.
Right.
Before anyone really knew the truth of what we know today. We're talking, it was, are we going to do this or not? And we all got on a conference call and we all basically said, all right, if we're going to do this, we're going to abide by the rules and let's just leave it at that. And we were able to pull it off. If memory serves me right, I think it was us and only one other show that filmed during COVID.
Okay.
And which was a giant accomplishment for all of us to be able to do that, because it was miserable. I ain't gonna lie. I mean, we're all working in the garage. It's 100 degrees in there. We all got masks on. It was terrible. And but we made it through. But back to the whole my producer tells me, and I started laughing. I'm like, really? You couldn't start the conversation off with that? He goes, well, it's not canceled. They're just thinking about holding it off a year. And I go, and honestly, it was like a weight lifted off my shoulders. I'm like, I could take a year off. I'd be fine with that,
Yeah. And
then one thing led to another. Eventually, with dealing with, because this is after COVID, so after dealing with sponsors and all this stuff getting pushed around and everything, it ended up just not coming around. And they called me one day and I said, I'm fine with it. It's ran its course. It's done its thing. We did 87 cars in 8 seasons. And that's not counting what I've done personally out of my shop, during the 8 years, or 9 years. I got 9 years and I was dealing with Garage Squad for 8 seasons. And so it was a lot of work over the 8-9 years of my life. And I got to tell you, when they said it was over, it was bittersweet. I guess is the best way I could explain it. It was like, I need to get back to my family, because it took a lot of time, a lot of life out of me. But it's okay. I mean, is it going to come back? I doubt it. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm in no hurry to go back to it. I can tell you that.
Right.
Yeah. Then your body reset.
Yeah, for sure. And not only that, you got to understand that, when you're in those high stressful environments all the time, it's just not, it's not a good place to be sometimes. And the truth of the matter is, I'm going to say it right here on your show right now today. There was a lot of people we did cars for, they were not grateful.
Wow.
They were not. I mean, think about the world we live in, guys. Cut the bullshit. Think about do you really think everybody's all excited? No, I mean, I got guys right now, they despise me because I'm the one that makes the call on what we're doing. Okay. And we're over budget and the guy wants air conditioning. Sorry. We're not putting on air conditioning. I got a guy that hates me because he don't have air conditioning on. and it's like, this show is to get you up and running. You can do the finalizing later, go put on your air conditioning. I have a guy that one time, I'll tell you right now, we had a cam go flat, which anyone that builds motors knows it happens. Sure. It's just the nature of the beast in today's world with oils and cams and lifters, right? And it went flat, like not too far after. We got threatened to get sued, went all over town, bashed me to everybody, ungrateful as hell over a flat.
Wow.
I mean,
well, you see that on every show. I don't care whose show it is. Insert name here. If you watch TV like I do, and I'm sure that you do, I'm always looking past the camera at what cars are in the shop. Hey, I saw that a couple episodes ago. Things aren't done or it's back. And you see, even in a test drive, okay, they did an interior, but the steering column has chips and marks in it. Well, that wasn't part of the deal. We weren't detailing every inch of your interior. We were giving you seat covers and a carpet, is what it is.
Yeah.
So, I can see where people get petty. I would say to that, I would go back to that owner and say, okay, well, now we're going to come back, not when it's convenient for you, but when it's convenient for us, and do part 2 where we take all the shit out of your car. And
No
then we leave
shit.
you. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you know what? And then then it'll be easier to put the air conditioning in. You know, so,
Yeah. I mean, you know, it's sad. I mean, don't be wrong. I mean, am I mad about it? I just kind of accepted that, like it or not, this is the world we live in. That's just how some people are. I mean, they you know, they're a lot of them were grateful. Don't get me wrong. A lot of them. I mean, I'm friends with some of them today. Don't get me wrong. You know what I mean? That I talked to. In fact, the guy with the silver Roadrunner we did, I think in season 6. I just talked to him 2 days ago. He called just to say hi.
Okay.
You know, so I do have a handful of people that are really good people, but there were bad apples. That is the truth. I mean, and I know people out there, well, how is it anybody's ungrateful? I mean, because they don't pay for anything.
That's
right?
why.
Right. They don't have to buy the parts. They don't have to pay for labor. It doesn't cost them nothing, and you know they get a great experience, you know, of a lifetime that is not everybody's ever going to have. It's a great opportunity. We get their cars up and running, and we got people that are complaining. I have a guy that was on social media bashing me personally. Because we took his car out and I'm driving it. It's a 4-speed. And I noticed like one of the gears kind of whines a little bit. Well, we never did the trans. We never rebuilt it. We never nothing. It was rebuilt before. But I happened to notice it. Well, whatever. Typical Muncie 4-speed. I mean, you know, whatever. So I do a burnout in it. Well, then he notices that the trans is whining. Take a guess who ruined the car because I did a burnout. It'd be this guy.
Wow.
My attitude is like, listen, buddy. If you had somebody build that trans and I do a burnout in a Muncie 4-speed with a lousy small block in front of it and it's making noise, I got news for you. That trans had problems before I showed up.
Joe, we call that the Sinju syndrome. And what
yeah.
that
Oh
means
yeah.
Sinju worked on my directionals. Now my AC doesn't work anymore. Come on.
Yeah.
And everybody sees that. Anybody who works in the shop has seen that. You know, it's unfortunately the way it is. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
you know,
and it is, and it's just the way it is, and that's just the reality of people. I mean,
people are a trip. So listen to this. I deal with promotions for different clients. So I reached out to a company and I was like, hey, you know, we want to do a promotion to help veterans. And can you help us out with parts and stuff? And they're like, we really would like to, but we don't do it anymore because the people are so ungrateful and they come back trying to sue us.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And I was like dumbfounded when they told me that. I'm like, really? Yeah. I was like, you're giving them parts. How could they, you know?
Yep.
It's crazy.
You know, Joe, it made me think of when you were talking about people not appreciating it. Anybody who has kids will get it. Because I happen to have 2 very good kids who are now grown. But my older daughter, when she was a lot younger, she was maybe, I don't know, 3 or 4. And we had this big party for her. And she had all this stuff and presents and everything, all this crap. I mean, it was ridiculous. You know, we said to her, hey, you know, how do you like all your stuff? Oh, I love it. I said, do you appreciate all this stuff you have? No. She said, like, she didn't know what she was saying. But it's like, kids don't appreciate it. Like, you don't appreciate it till you work for it and earn the money and spend it. And then, you know, you got sweat equity. So for the boobs, I get it.
Yeah. But you know, I guess, you know, it's just part of reality because my exact words were at the season 6. I told the producer at Motor Trend, and he's like, what do you think about the directions Garage Squad's going? I says, honestly, to be blunt, I says it's turned into a game show, and more people are like, oh, you pick me? Cool. Fuck you, pay me. I mean, that's like their attitude. It's like, what are you getting? Because people started with this whole, well, you put fuel injection on his car. Why can't you do it on mine? Well, because we have a budget and your shit box needs a lot more work on it than his does. Okay. But they didn't care. They didn't care. And then it turned into, I had a guy one time, he says to me, he calls me up. He doesn't even own these cars. He just knows the owners. Calls me up and says, hey, I'm stopping by your shop on Sunday. and I want you to do some welding and stuff for me.
Oh, nice.
And I go, I says, wait a minute, what? This is a true story. And I says, wait a minute, what? And he goes, yeah. I go, well, what do you need welded? Oh, I don't know. Grab something you have around the shop. I says, what do you mean? He goes, I want to see you weld. And I'm like, why? He goes, you think I'm just going to let you show up here at these people's house and weld on their car if I don't know exactly how good of a welder you are? He didn't even own the cars.
Yeah.
Wow.
He was the guy that car. Yeah. So, and I'm like, so needless to say, that's when, he got the real Joe Zolper. Okay.
Uh-huh.
And my exact words were, listen, motherfucker, if you think you're going to tell me you're going to show up at my house on a Sunday just to entertain your ass, I said, come on down my driveway on Sunday. I said, I fucking dare you.
Right.
I said, it'll be the last driveway you go down for a very long time.
Yeah.
And I says, and I told the guy, I said, the fact that you had the audacity to think that you're some higher power, that you have control over this, and you're going to dictate if I can and cannot work on some piece of shit fucking Mustang is bullshit. And I says, and if I hear another word about it, you don't need to be on that set. I'll see to that.
Right.
I mean, and so that's the side that he ended up getting.
Right.
But that's the type of people that sometimes, yes. I mean, I'm not highlighting, but yes, we would deal sometimes with some really shitty people. And then the guy has a nerve to tell me that I'm arrogant.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Right.
Yeah. I keep in mind, I'm the one that decides these cars even get put on the damn show. I picked the car. I'm happy to help you, but I'm arrogant because you want to come and look over my shoulder while I'm TIG welding a piece of metal to impress your ass. I don't think.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
dude, I got 100 stories.
Oh.
The truth of the matter is I just don't tell them.
Yeah.
Because if I did, I'd be the next fucking Cat Williams of the gearhead industry. I can promise you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I promise you. Yeah. Playing in traffic would go, it explode. Okay. It's like, I can tell you some shit. But I won't, because at the end of the day, it's just not. People have their own problems, their own world. They want to sit down, they want to watch TV and live in their fantasy and leave them be.
Yeah.
So then let me ask you, let me go out on a limb. Let me be the guy to ask you the pregnant, politically incorrect question that everybody that I know always asks about these shows. What was it like working with the women that you worked with on the show?
As far as
I don't want to be specific. What?
Me and Joe have had this talk before, so I know what he's going to say.
Okay.
Go ahead.
All right. Well, only because people ask me this, because I do a radio show and I do this show and I've done some other media stuff. People think that, you know the answers to everything in the world, which I don't. Yeah. So I think, how the hell do I know what the I don't know. I wasn't there. But I don't mean specifically, just in general. It's that just politically unclear, because I have, I do work at a shop. And I work with body guys, God help me, not women, not females, but I have worked with some girls over the years who were very, very good at what they did, and I had no problem working with them. But the majority, and there's not even a lot of them to say majority, minority. There were a couple who thought they knew what they were doing, but they didn't last.
Here's all I'm going to say about that, because I'm saving the truth for someday when someone pisses me off. Okay. So here's what I'm going to tell you. Bogey is probably the smartest woman that I've ever worked with on my 47 years of being on this planet.
Yep.
Enough. Then that's far as I'm going.
Okay. And she went a lot further too. So
listen, Bogey is she's the real deal.
I'm going to grab my phone here because I think I got someone out there by my shop. I want to go see. I'm curious. Someone's making all kinds of racket.
It might be that guy.
Yeah, right.
It sounds like a street rat out there or something. I'm curious now.
Wow.
And nobody's supposed to be at my shop. Oh well, I think
live surveillance.
You paid your insurance, right?
Yeah. We're good. Yeah, we're
it's like
good.
An episode of Cops,
right? So, but that's all I want to say about the whole women thing. Now, if you want to talk about women in general in the industry, that's another topic we can discuss.
You know, I mean, that's like saying, I mean, that is general. 'Cause it's like saying guys, it's like saying, Italians, Irish guy. I mean, listen, anybody can be great. Anybody can be terrible.
Yeah.
Regardless of their gender, race, creed, color, I don't care what, so that's a given. I think we all know that. When you've been in the business long enough, you realize that. But
well, first of all, I have 2 women that are gearheads. My daughter drag races, my wife drag races. So I am all for women in the industry and women in the sport. And I think that's great. What I am not for, and I'll say it here, is these Instagram women that don't really know how to do a fucking thing, but yet they have 500,000 followers because their ass is in the camera all the time.
And they look good.
They don't get me wrong, sex sells. I'm a man. I mean, when I was a kid, I used to, go grab Playboy magazine too. I mean, I'm a human being, right? Yeah. But at the end of the day, it's getting out of hand. Social media is out of control with it, and I'm kind of fed up with it. We have a thing at the race that I put on that we'll discuss, the Builders Brawl, that any woman, any of these social media influencer chicks that are acting like they're putting her LS motor together in yoga pants, okay? Any of them that send in a submission and qualify as a builder, and the 5 guys that review the submissions pass them through it as qualified as a builder, I will pay all their entry fees and everything if they come to the race. And all I have is crickets. That's all I got. That's all I got. And because and we've had races in their backyard, and they don't. Because it's all fake bullshit. Now, don't get me wrong, guys. Listen, if you want to hit the like button because she's hot and that's your thing, good for you. Do you? But stop following these people and selling out your beloved hobby in the industry, because it's leading into other problems that people just don't see because they only see the surface. Yeah. They don't see what it's really doing for our car culture. It's not doing us any favors. And not just the girls. We got guys out there that act like they know what they're doing, but they really just run around with GoPros and film everybody else. And those people are getting sponsors and shit from some of our suppliers. And wait a minute, you're getting sponsors. You don't do anything, but we have real people out here that are doing really great things, and they're getting passed up by big companies because, well, they're not hot with 300,000 followers, right? I mean, pay attention to the world we live in today, okay? I mean, every movie you go watch has got a hot chick that's 100 pounds whooping a guy's ass who's 250, right? Every show, every women empowerment, okay, that's fine. I have a daughter. It doesn't bother me. But in our car culture, you cannot fake being a gearhead.
Yeah.
Okay? You can't. I don't care what the fuck Hollywood tells you. I don't care what next, TV show with a beard that some Motor Trend puts out. Guy's got a beard. Okay, I don't care. The bottom line is you can't fake it. All right, and these people are coming in and they're faking it and they're ruining it. I'll tell you right now. I won't mention names, but I have a sponsor for the Builders Brawl. They couldn't afford to sponsor us this next season, because they end up sponsoring some other people, and they sponsored one of these people in social media that don't do a damn thing. And it's complete bullshit, Terry. It's total bullshit, and so guys like me try to fix this problem and stand up and do what's right, but we had too many simps out there that just hit the like and follow button. You done with your phone, buddy? Because it's loud.
What was going on?
Hey, let go of your phone, dude. That's loud.
There we go.
There you go.
Hello, Terry.
What's up,
What's
Terry?
up, gentlemen? You tell him, Joe. You tell him.
I'm telling you, and the bottom line is what makes me mad is I know a lot of other, we'll call them TV personalities, okay? They all agree with me. They all think like me. They all see it. I know other females that are TV persons that agree with me and they all see it. Why am I the only one speaking up? Why has everybody got to be such pansies?
Yeah.
I mean, what are you afraid of? Cancel culture, being a gearhead? Listen, they can cancel me tomorrow. I'm still getting in my lowrider Dodge and going to do burnouts Friday night with my buddies. I don't give a shit. Okay, I mean, what are you going to cancel? You know, I mean, cancel. Canceling me and bragging about it would be like bragging about being the smartest first grader. It's like no one gives a shit. Okay, so what I'm trying to figure out is I did a thing on TikTok. It got like 40,000 views, like in like a week. And all I did is you guys always pat me on the back because I get on here and say it like it is, you know, on my social media, and I tell the truth and I call out fake people and shitty people. And you guys pat me on the back and you always say, awesome job. And my question is, well, why aren't you?
Right.
The fuck is everybody so afraid of? Okay.
Being canceled.
Yeah, being canceled. It's the gearhead culture.
You know,
canceled from what?
I tell you the
truth. What are you going to do? Go to PRI and Holly won't talk to you? Who gives a shit? I'm on over to fucking Fuel Tech. Okay, I mean, my point is this cancel culture bullshit ain't going to work in the gearhead community. Well,
right.
Unless we're full of a bunch of.
No, you're right, Joe. It doesn't because I talked to my boys about it. My friends said, listen, they want to cancel me. Fine. I don't accept their cancel. I don't view that as a real thing. So screw off.
Yeah.
Cancel whoever you want. I don't care. You know, big deal. And that's what you got to do. You just got to tell them, no, what you're saying doesn't mean a damn thing. You know, goodbye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone put technical difficulties.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Chris Walker. He's a good guy.
Yeah.
Hey, so Joe, we wanted to show you something.
Uh-oh. All right. What are you showing me?
I don't like that devious
Hold on a second.
style.
Uh-oh.
Let's see.
Terry's walking.
Someone misses you, man.
What do we got there?
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Well, would you look at that? Isn't that pretty?
That's looking good, Terry.
You're like maybe 10 minutes ago, I got some off of eBay, the tail lights.
Nice. Very nice.
Looking good.
We got the quarters on. They're seat screwed in, but we're going to take care of that. That big box over there, we decided to go with a new roof.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
No
AMD
kidding.
was like, we're going to send you a roof. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So we're getting it in. We got the floor pan in the trunk. We got this quarter panel on. You know, and I had to. I couldn't resist. I had to put the fender on.
Nice. Very nice.
Just to see. Just to see,
those
man.
of you that don't know, Terry bought that CUDA from me, and he's bound and determined to make that thing the baddest bitch on the block. So
did you charge him by the pound for the Joe? Did you charge him by the pound for the rust or what?
I know, right? Welcome to finding a CUDA anymore.
I know,
especially when it's affordable. I just seen one for $9,000 that like had nothing from the back seat back.
Wow.
There was nothing there, and I'm like, there's not even a trunk rail. I mean, it was terrible, and the people are getting it. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
The gearhead is expensive.
Yeah, I'll tell the story real quick.
We gotta shut off one of your cameras.
Lewis, yeah, you should mute your phone, Lewis. You're back feeding.
All right.
How I sound?
There you
You
go.
always sound good, Terry. Come on.
Yeah.
Okay. So, me and Joe used to kick it. We talked every now and then and everything. And those who don't know, I used to have a CUDA. I had a 71, but I always wanted that 70. And so I'm talking to Joe, and I was like, you know what? I said, Joe, what year was that body style from the 70 CUDA? How far did it go up? Was it 73 or 74? He said 74. Mm-hmm. And he goes, why? And I was like, I'm thinking about, so the 74 would probably be the cheaper one to get because the 70 and 71, you can't touch them.
Yeah.
And he goes, yeah, why? I was like, well, I'm thinking about maybe, finding a CUDA and possibly putting an LS in it. He didn't like that. Look at him now.
Hey, you starting to itch?
Yeah.
Look at the time.
But before I said about the LS, he says to me, I just happen to have one I think was it Rusty Acres?
Yeah.
Yeah, in Rusty Acres is sitting there, and I'd be willing to part with it. So we worked the deal out for the cost, and Tyler Long went and picked it up.
Which
He
now keep in mind, Terry's donation to buy the CUDA went to the Builders Brawl event, okay, to buy all the T-shirts and everything, and to pay for the employees to help work the event. So thank you, Terry, for buying the CUDA.
and I'm coming too under the build. We're all coming to the Builders Brawl.
Oh shit!
You know, we have what's called VIP access to it.
Yeah. All right, you will have VIP. I'll give you VIP. Yeah, I'll get you. Definitely gonna be VIP.
So Tyler went to go pick the car up. Now I was talking to Joe. I'm like, yeah, I'm thinking about putting a LS in this thing. He didn't like that. This is after the deal was done, you know. And so he is responsible for me getting this CUDA, and he was nervous. He says to me, "Did you see the car yet? Because it went to Ohio. I didn't come to New York." And I didn't see the car for what, like about a month before.
And I refused to send him any pictures or videos or anything. I was like, dude, you got to come see it yourself. Sorry.
Right turn, Clyde. Pow.
Hey. Well, listen, you were warned, and it was a Mopar from the Midwest. That's all.
And I told him, I was like, Joe, man, Jozo, don't worry about it. I know what I'm getting myself into. I don't think he realized I knew what I was getting myself into, but he was nervous. Yeah. I was like, what am I going to do? Roll up on you? You know, like what's it called? Yeah, I'm just big. I'll get in the fetal position and cry like a baby, man.
Yeah.
you know.
Now, I'm going to tell you guys this right now. God is my witness. For the amount of money I sold you for that thing for, I lost my ass on that car. I swear to God, I know I sound like a salesman. You know? But I'm being honest. And I'm like, because even I was like, man, Terry, I want to help you out, but this, you know, it's a Mopar from the Midwest. I mean, use your, you know, but whatever, you know. I
was like, sold. I want the car. I was like, I want the car.
Because I remember going, you sure you don't want to just come out here and look at it?
I was like, nope, I want the car. Give me the car.
Okay, right, yeah.
Listen,
I mean, you guys have come a long way with that thing. It's going to look good. It is going to be a badass car. And the story you have behind that car from beginning to end is you'll be telling your grandchildren this shit, man. I mean, because you got a long road with that car, but I get news for you. It's going to be worth the trip.
It's yes. Like I said, I always wanted a 70. 71 I had in high school. High school. But I always wanted that 70. I always wanted the 70. And I want to thank you for making it possible because, you know, we all know what these CUDAs go for.
Yeah.
We all know what the CUDAs go for. Even the 73, 72, 70, 74, you all know what they go for.
Yeah.
And this just gives me the opportunity. I want to thank AMD for backing me up on this bill and a couple other suppliers. I want to thank QA1. I want to thank who else? Summit, Aeromotive, Pipes. You know, they all came in. It's like, oh, you got a CUDA? Yo, here. You know what kind of parts you need. So this couldn't have been done with them. And
hey,
plus, Jozo gave me the biggest compliment. Yeah, no, he gave me the biggest compliment because, like, you know, from a guy at his level saying, I'm proud of what you're doing. You're doing a really good job. So that I thank you, my son. I thank you. You know,
man, you know what? Anybody that has the ambition to tackle a project like that and to see it through, mad respect from me because nobody wants to do it no more, man. I mean, people are just, this is why, again, Builders Brawl. You know, I mean, you already would qualify to come and race at that event. You know what I mean? Because people just don't want to push that bar anymore to learn anything. They just want. Yeah. They want instant gratification, take everything for face value, you know, too much of this shit in their hands, and that's all they're used to. So to actually go out there, spend 3 hours whittling away at spot welds and everything, and when you're done, it doesn't look like you did a damn thing, but yet keep your composure and keep that drive to keep going to get it done. That's very hard for people. That's a talent in itself. The hell with the metal work and everything else. That's a talent and a struggle in itself.
And see what he's doing. he says that I should go to a builder's brawl, but he said in the video, which I'm gonna post, he says if Terry puts an LS in that thing, he's gonna come in there with something. Look at
him.
No, never said that. I never said you lie. You are lying.
Hold on a second.
You are lying. I never said that. Okay. Now,
I am posting it after this. I am so posting it.
No. And another thing, I told you, look at Dominator when he had the Chevy, the big block Chevy in the Dart. He never heard the end of it. Mopar guys are just not like that. You know, you can take a Fox body and throw an LS into it, and well, the Fox Mustangs are whores, so that nobody cares, right? But when you take a precious princess, like a badass CUDA, and then you just destroy it with an LS. Hold on, I got pray. Okay, and you destroy it with an LS. Literally, fool, you might see Jesus early. Okay, I'm just saying. All right, you gotta stop. People are gonna hunt you down, man. You're gonna get death threats and shit. You know, you'll be calling the FBI trying to go in hiding. You know, I mean, you can't do this, dude.
But they won't know if I don't open up the hood.
I'm gonna tell them all. What are you talking about? I'm telling them all. I'll be like, Terry's a traitor. Terry's a traitor. Call Homeland Security.
Well, he's not a traitor. He's not a Mopar guy at heart.
Yeah, well, see, that's the thing. I'm making him a Mopar guy at heart.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I tell you what. Even though you threatened me, you said that you're gonna come down and drag me down the street. That's all right. You know. But I'm gonna do the right thing. I'm gonna do the right thing, Jozo.
Listen, Terry. Listen. I know you know how to box. All right. And I know you can box. So I'm just gonna be straight up. Now listen, I was a scrapper in my day, but I'm no dummy. If I were to come up to you and hit you, okay, I would give it all I had, and then I would run like a bitch the other direction as fast as I could. Because I know you got a badass upper hook, and I ain't getting involved in that boxing shit with you, okay? Because people don't know Terry's a big dude, all right? All right? So he can just snatch up them quarter pounds and slap them on, and everything. He don't listen to anything he says. He knows what's up.
I'm gonna do the right thing. Oh my goodness.
We were in a meeting. And we were talking about putting the LS in it. And they were like, no, you got to put a Mopar or a Hemi in it. And I was like, hold on. So I had to pull them aside. I'm like, hey, man, look, man, they're about to give you a motor, bro. You got to listen.
Yeah, Summit. Yeah, so we went to Summit and we discussed it. And, they want to do that whole Pro Hemi line that's coming out.
Yeah.
Quiet as it's kept. So they would like to have this car as like a flagship or, like something that'll sponsor it. And so they were talking, like it was like they went into a huddle,
Yeah.
And then me and Lewis went into a huddle. He was like, Terry, listen, if they're going to sponsor an engine, I was like, dude, I got LS's, man. LS needs to go in this thing. And he's like, no,
hey,
you put a Hemi in this thing.
You know what, Lewis? Listen, you're right. Let him put in the LS. Let him do it. Okay. And then you just turn me on the Summit, and I'll put a Hemi in my lowrider Dodge D150. Okay. And the hell with Terry. He loses. Go put in your little peanut LS motor, you big sissy. And I'm only saying that because I'm halfway across the country. Okay.
You know what? I'm gonna
Terry, I'd be like, yeah, Terry, LS is a pretty damn good idea. You should give it a shot. Now that I'm halfway across the country, I'll be like, you dumbass. Don't you put in no LS in that thing.
Oh, my goodness.
Get you fired up.
Oh, snap. The only thing that'll be worse if I'm putting an LS in this thing with a bikini on. Yeah, there you go.
Oh, God, dude. What are you going to do? Make the property value plummet? You can't do that. Honestly, nobody wants to see you in a bikini. Honestly, God. Like when I go out in the pool in the backyard, my wife's like, wear a shirt. Are you making our property value go down? I got that dad bod and hot rods. You know what I mean?
No, but all honesty, me and Joe had a talk. What was it, last week? Was it last week? It was like a week ago.
Yeah, last week.
Yeah, we had a talk. and we were talking about the pros and cons and everything like that. But I don't know. I'm still up in the air. But I think we know which way I'm going to go. That's all I'm going to say.
I think we do.
I listen to Joe, and I know which way I'm going to go. Ooh, that's bars.
There you go.
And he froze.
Yeah, he
Ooh,
did.
This guy's hilarious.
Wow, you actually froze him.
Froze, see?
I didn't know this was going to be a love fest like this. I didn't know
I'm
you
frozen.
could
That's it. So you couldn't deal with it. See,
You
that's
actually
right,
turned-
Joe, in your face.
you actually turned him into carbonite, man. You wow.
Oh my god.
He said that his phone gets hot when he's on StreamYard.
Nah,
Yeah.
yo,
So when-
he got his
when
phone
he-
hot.
When he's on a screen yard, you mean?
Yeah.
Wow.
Chris Walker, what's up? Got Scott Rosen in the house. What's going on? How's everyone doing? He's speechless. I don't know. How do you feel about it, Chris? You think I should put an LS in that Hemi? Oh, in that CUDA? Dinah Parisi, how you doing today?
What's up, Miss Breezy?
Spicy meatball.
She done popped in the house.
She popped in the house. Oh, let's see. Chris, not much. Doing great, everyone. That's good. I love hearing that. Oh, man. Joe's a trip.
Well, with the right instigation, I mean.
What's up, Ray, mate? Oh, you saying I instigate? No, not the LS.
No, I wouldn't say that about you ever. No.
Dina, we danced. We danced, Dina. Oh, snap. See, she says, "No, I gotta deal with that. I can't."
I will tell you this:
look,
this cruise night, Terry, that I go to here, a local cruise night, and the guy rolled in with a CUDA, a sublime green CUDA a few years ago, and it had an LS in it, and it was a pro build. I don't know who did it, what shop, but I tell you something. This car looked sharp, and I looked right past that. I looked right past the LS and said, "Yeah, it looks good in there." Everything else.
That's what I'm saying. You make it look good enough, people look past the LS.
It was top shelf. It was a top shelf.
Oh my god! I came back to this still.
Yeah.
My phone overheated.
All right. Well, let me ask you this question. We're actually thinking about a color for this because we want to, we're close to jabbing, certain areas on the car.
Yeah.
How do you feel about? Because I like that. I'm trying to keep it Mopar. I like that Mopar that's on the new trucks, that real dark burgundy.
Yeah.
Or
Hellcats too.
On the Hellcats, yeah, it's that real dark oxblood red burgundy.
I think you need a high impact.
Are you talking the Hellraisin? It's called.
I'm not sure what the name of it is. You see it on
like
you see them on the trucks, and you see them. I think the Challengers have them.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's more of a purplish burgundy, right?
It's like a maroon, like a dark maroon.
Yeah.
It's pretty color.
Yeah. Well, if it's what I'm thinking, I think that color is called Hellraisin.
Hellraiser?
Hellraisin.
We're gonna look it up.
Raisin. No,
Hellraisin as in California raisins.
My vote is for a high impact color. From the 70s.
My bucket list CUDA is I want vitamin C orange one.
That's nice. Beautiful.
Yeah, that's what I want. I have right now a 71 Challenger 446 pack 4-speed shaker hood that I'm doing right now. And the car's supposed to be black on black, which is like my favorite e-body. But I'll be honest with you, I don't think I'm gonna do it. I think I might paint it vitamin C orange.
With a white interior.
Yeah, I got white interior, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm really thinking about it, yeah. But we'll see. I don't know. Then part of me is saying, you know what? I've done so many nice cars. I want something I can get into. I might just paint that bitch flat black and go beat the hell out of it.
There you go.
I'm done with trying to, wet block cars and make them perfect and everything. Don't get me wrong. I'm not into rat rod type stuff, but at the same time, I want something I can get in and drive for a year or two and not worry about scratching and door dings and everything. I just want to be able to get out and enjoy the old muscle,
Yeah.
You can't do that with a show car. You can't do that with a you can't do that. No.
I'll tell you this: my project car got painted during COVID, and I never had more fun with it than before it was painted when it was in
Yeah.
primer, because
Yeah.
I just did not that I didn't care, you just
Right.
didn't have to worry about it, and it
Well, yeah.
looked tough.
Yeah, and I know somebody right now that has an El Camino that they built, and the car's gorgeous, and the paint job's phenomenal, and but it is a trailer queen type of show car. Like you don't even want to walk past it type of car,
Right.
and the reality is I know damn well he's not enjoying it. I know he's not, because I know how it is. I mean, the restoration went way farther than he was ever expecting, and now it's to the point where it's more anxiety to drive and enjoy than it is actual anything.
You know, it was funny because after it was painted, I would go to the shop and I drive everything all the time. And the one guy at the shop said to me, "Hey Ray," he goes, "I see you're not driving your Pontiac." He goes, "Everything all right?" I'm like, "Yeah, the car's great." He goes, "How come you're not driving it?" I said, "He's because it's painted, right?" I'm like, "Yeah, you're right. That's right." He goes, "Before you always had it out." I'm like, "Yeah, because I never thought twice about it. Now I kind of care about it a little more." So
Yeah,
it's the curse. It's a kiss of death to paint the car.
yeah, it is. And don't get me wrong. I mean, I like a nice paint job. Okay, I do.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
but there, like when I painted my D150, my 87 short bed, everybody's like, "Oh, it's gorgeous." To me, it's not a award-winning show car paint job. It's just not. But it looks good, and that's enough for me. I'm done with the 100-point paint jobs and everything that costs 30 grand. There's so much anxiety anymore to take it out and enjoy it. The truth of the matter is, now that the reinvention of the Challengers and the Chargers and the Hellcats and the SRT8s and all the newer cars that make way more horsepower, the truth of the matter is, I hate to say this, but getting in an old 69 Charger and going cruising is really overrated anymore. I mean, they're 350 horse. They're boats. They handle like sailboats. They're cool. They're nostalgic, but there's no luxuries. There's no nothing. You could go get an SRT8 that's 500 horse right out of the gate, and that's why when you go to a lot of these shows, when I travel all over the country and I go to these shows, like the new Camaros, Challengers, and Chargers, they're flooded at these car shows with people tricking them out because it's just more affordable and it makes more sense, and they can drive it from here to California.
It's generational too. I mean, no, don't get me wrong. A lot of the older guys are doing it because they're past that point of wrenching and sweating and being out there till all hours. I'll give it up when I die. It's just But then again, I built a resto mod, so I built an old car that has a lot of modern stuff in it. Not as modern as Terry does, but so it is more enjoyable. So there's a place for everybody. Everybody does.
There is. Yeah,
that's right.
And it's all each chooses their own. I mean, some
Right.
guys are diehard lead sleds, and that's all they'll ever own, and some guys are into the new stuff, and it's okay. I like everything personally. I like everything. I like rat rods, I guess. I just don't like rat junk. Okay,
Right. Right.
So if you're welding tie rod ends together, bro, it's a piece of shit. You can cake it up all you want. It's a piece of shit, okay, and that's where I draw the line.
Good point.
But I will say the patina world is out of control. I personally am kind of bailing on the patina life. I do like patina trucks and stuff like that, but now it's turned into a culture with patina that it was cool to find those old cars that Mother Nature made them look the way they did. And I got that, and I appreciated that, and I like the idea. I like the look. But now it's turned into, well, I like patina because, well, I'm lazy.
Right.
I like
You know what? I'm gonna bring.
Well, I'm not gonna put in the work to learn how to paint. I'm not gonna sand. I'm not gonna do body work. So I can still be part of a cool culture if I just tell myself it's cool.
Right. I'm gonna bring in our specialist, rat rod specialist, right now. See what he has to say.
Oh,
Meet Paul.
He said, Rat Rod Specialist. You know, Chris Walker keeps commenting. I thought you were bringing Chris Walker in. He's the Rat Rod Specialist.
get Chris Walker in. Yeah, Chris the Kid.
Oh, you know what? Chris is he's on he's not in our piece. Chris, do you want me to send you a
Bring Chris Walker in for a minute, please.
Joe, let me
Yeah, I'm
ask
about to
you
say
this.
that. Yeah, Chris needs to get in here on this one.
Joe, do you see? Do you watch Tony DeFeo, Uncle Tony on YouTube?
No,
The most-
sorry, do not know.
Because he's got another guy down there in Tennessee, Kiwi. He's an Australian guy, and he has a shop. Does a lot of really nice, really quality work. But he just pulled in from California. I think it's a 56 or 7 Plymouth wagon.
Nice.
You talking about Kiwi Customs?
Kiwi's Customs and Classics. Yeah. So the big debate was what to do about an engine, and I voted too. I said, I keep the 318 poly in it, rebuild the poly, and throw it in, leave it in there.
Yeah.
Because the car is patinaed to hell. I mean, this thing is, it's
Right.
Terry, what are you shaking your head for? You got a tick? What's the matter?
All right.
You're not putting an LS in there.
Psychopath.
I sent Lou a message to bring me in, please. I've been listening for a while, and Chris Walker may agree with what I have to say here, because I'm going to remind myself of 2019 at SEMA. And there was an LS motor in a particular build at SEMA in 2019 that everybody swore was an engine. There were 3 people spotted at that time that it was an LS motor disguised as a Hemi. Just make it look like a Hemi.
Well, they made the conversion to put small block Chevy valve covers on them. They made the conversion to put nail head valve covers on them. So,
oh no, just
what the hell? Those guys going.
Sean Puz did that blower LS motor and his build that was sitting in Dorelli's booth. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people walking and looking at it. He said only 3, to the point I said something, noticed that it was an LS motor. And it was a good disguise. You did have to take a second look. First glance, it was Hemi.
That's a testament to the engineers and the CNC guys.
Which brings me to a point that was brought up in the early beginning. And I don't mean to take over for a second. I'm going to ramble. It's going to be basically those that can do, those that can't write blank checks. Now, in the rat rod world, and like you were saying, you can tell with talking to somebody with a few minutes, or you really have motor oil in your blood. You know right away. A lot of blank check out there. That's great. But there's certain cultures or subcultures of the special interest community you cannot just blank check your way into. Those that can do, and I think that's what's made the rat rod culture as strong as it's made it. So many people that are actually building, and it's that the younger generation building something, no matter what it is. Build a fucking Yugo, but build it.
Yeah, I agree 100%. And we don't promote it no more. Building, and that, again, that's why I started the Builders Brawl, because the people that actually put in the work, whether they're in a lean-to, a 2-car garage, or a big shop, we don't give them any credit anymore. It's for the people that are innovators and the people that are out there trying to, blast themselves with as much knowledge as possible about their ride. And we don't encourage it. We don't promote it. So that's why I said, I'm going to give these, as far as racers go, I'm going to give them a platform. And that's why I come up with the Builders Brawl. And it's about giving these guys a platform to be proud of the work that they do. Now, eventually, I'd like to get the Builders Brawl is going to move into even car shows. I like to have a car show where you can only enter it if you built it. You got to qualify at some level of a builder to even enter the car show. And because the reality is we've watched this. I can remember being a kid going, wait a minute, I built my whole entire car from nothing. and it looks good. It's not perfect, but this guy just wrote a check for $100,000 and had, Dave Kindig detail it, and he wins the trophies. The guy doesn't even own a toolbox at home, and it's okay, because here's the thing, guys. Here's what everybody has to understand is you got to have both. You got to have the builders, but you got to have the people writing checks. Because without the people writing checks, there's no innovation. There's no research and development. There's no new products coming out. Okay?
Well, not only that, there's no client and there's no shop and client interplay.
Right.
Guys aren't working.
You have to have both. Okay. You had, but the problem that I have seen is in the last 10 years is we've been focusing more on the people that are writing checks to go fast than we are the people that are actually building the car to make them go fast. So we need to bring back a little bit more and shine a little bit more light on the attention of the builders that are out there putting in the work, no matter what you're building. I don't care if you're building a fucking Ford Pinto, or a full-blown Pro Mod. We need to show the younger generation that this talent is appreciated.
Wow. You're me. You're right, man. That's 100%.
So, I mean, you guys can take it for what it's worth, but, at the end of the day, the younger generation is just more about spending money and thinking that that's how you make things work in the car culture. But it's not. It's not always about money.
So,
now,
Joe,
don't get me wrong. I don't care if a multimillionaire comes and competes at my race. As long as he put in the work to qualify as a builder, I'm going to have just as much respect for him as a guy with no money, because if anybody doesn't have to be out there drilling out spot welds and dealing with rusty bullshit, it's the multimillionaire. But he still put in the work to come and compete and still put in the work for the knowledge. I got just as much respect for that guy that has that money to write that check that don't, than the guy that's out there working in a lean-to who's broke as shit, selling pencils on a street corner so he can buy valve covers next week, right? So we have to respect it all. We don't have to like it sometimes, but we have to respect it.
So where do you see the hobby going in 5, 10, 15 years?
It's going to shit.
Yeah, okay. That's kind of what the consensus is from everybody, yeah.
Yeah, it's going to shit. See, because what everybody doesn't know is it's kind of like the chopper craze. It was like, woo, all right, man, look at it, it's awesome. And then I'm sitting here in 2007 going, as someone who owns a chopper shop, I'm going, nah, I know better. This fad's about over. And it plummeted. And it plummeted hard.
Yeah.
And it really plummeted when it kind of went off of TV a little bit. We had biker build-offs and all that, and Billy Lane and Jesse James and all that. And it was the hype. It sold me T-shirts. It sold me bike parts. It sold me motorcycles. Yeah, I made a fortune, okay? But I knew that riding that pony was about over. I could tell it. Well, I'm going to tell you right now, it's happening now in the car culture right now. It's not got much longer, okay? Warner Brothers bought out Motor Trend, okay? Warner Brothers ain't doing nothing with Motor Trend. There's a boatload of shows that are going to get canceled here real soon, and they're only filming what they already have under contract to film. Then after about a year, Motor Trend's going stagnant. It's going to be nothing but rerun heaven. That's it. Because and that's what's happened. And then Warner Brothers will decide as time goes on if they're going to reinvest in doing any more car stuff. When that happens, it's over. Street Outlaws. This is the last year for Street Outlaws, no Prep Kings. Okay? So this is going to be it. This will be the last year they're filming. Now, will it go somewhere else? Maybe pay-per-view or something else, but it's off Discovery Channel. Okay? So the car culture, as far as TV goes, is going to plummet. You know who's going to be here? Guys like us. We're still going to be here. We were born and bred into this. But you're going to see a lot of money leave because it ain't the cool thing no more, just like the chopper industry. I saw lawyers and doctors leaving with their 40, 50, 60 grand for me to build a bike. I see them leaving in droves because it wasn't cool anymore. The same thing's going to happen with the car culture. It's coming. But we're still going to be here because we were here before.
The thing that I see in the circles that I populate, everybody says the same thing, and it's guys in the shops, guys who own the shops, work in the shops, guys who are money guys. The population is aging out, and we're all you know, like I said with the bikes, you know, a 50-year-old, 60-year-old guy, you know, he's don't want to ride an OCC chopper anymore. He wants a brand new Road King. You know, he wants a Dynaglide.
Yeah.
His bones are aching, man. He's not riding. I'm like one of the only idiots still building a hardtail chopper. You
Yeah.
know,
I still own one. I
at
don't
my
wanna ride it.
age, you know, which I should have my head examined for, but you know what? I got to get it out of my system. I got one more in me. And
Guys, even the car culture, I'm going to tell you right now, and for me, it's just the way events have happened. But in the last year, I hang around mostly older people. I don't really hang around a lot of younger people. Everybody I hang around with mostly older than me. Always been that way, just the way I am. And well, the boomers are dying. And I've had 4 of my buddies that are boomers that have passed away in the last year to year and a half. All of them were gearheads. All that shit got sold for pennies on the dollar.
yeah.
And I couldn't believe they had stuff for sale. Nobody wanted it.
Right.
Nobody. I mean, there is not a laundry list of 25-year-olds out there that give a rat's ass about a 4-bolt main small block Chevy. They don't even want to look at it. And then these boomers, the garage is loaded with that stuff.
You know,
nobody wanted the stuff.
All of my friends and we always make the flip offhand joke. Yeah, when I'm done, you know, my wife and kids are gonna just call the dumpster and have it loaded.
Yeah.
Man, that's the truth. I told my wife years ago. I said, all that shit you saw me bring in the house, and you know that I have. I said it's worth something, and that's why I brought it in. So I said, as long as there's people alive that I know, I said, you call my friends and they'll either buy it from you. I said, and if not, you give it to them. I'd rather see it go to somebody, you know, that I know. I said, but don't throw it out because it's got a lot of money tied up in this crap.
Yeah, I just dealt with this here. I just dealt with this here a couple weeks ago. If I can give anybody any advice, as someone that's I'm probably the youngest of the generation that still gives a damn about, you know, originality of a muscle car or a street rod or a lead sled. I'm like, you know, like I'm like the younger side of that, right? And I'm going to give everybody a piece of advice. If you got a bunch of stuff in your garage that's worth money and you're older and you're not out there working on it anymore, I understand, you know, he who dies with the most toys wins. But at the end of the day, do your family a favor. You have all the connections. They don't. Sell that shit now. Because, yes, I am telling you, I have seen shit go to the boneyard, and it'll blow your mind. And I've seen people run to go save it, and it's too late. And do yourself a favor. Sell it to somebody. Sell it to a buddy. I mean, if you're in the last quarter of your football game and you got 1 touchdown to go, the reality is we're all going to be there. And because that's what I'm going to do. If I get older and I know I can't use this stuff, I told myself, I made a promise, I'm going to sell it so my family don't have to deal with it. So I can give the money to where it needs to go. And whatever sentimental value stuff that I have, they can keep. Because we got to do it for them, because the next generation doesn't have the knowledge, it doesn't care.
Right. You know, I have a chiropractor who's 5 years older than me, and he always asks me, how old are you? How old are you? I tell him, because, you know, Ray, you got to realize something. On the football field of life, you got more yards behind you than you got in front of you.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, man, don't give me a graphic like that. But it's true. You know what? So who needs an 8 3/4 rear out of a CUDA? Because I got one, a 323 short grip sitting next to my garage. I was going to put in my Challenger years ago, and I never did.
Yeah.
So it's got to go.
I think it's a sign of the times. I think it's a reality that is coming, that we've been talking about for a long time. A lot of my elders, like my dad, has been avoiding this subject. He's 73 years old. He's diehard musclehead. And, you know, he's been avoiding this conversation. And now we have some friends of his have passed that are gearheads and everything. He's starting to realize, these guys should have got rid of this stuff before they passed. I mean, at least their families would have had more money, because the problem is when I die, I have, 7,000 square foot of junk. Okay. And when I die, the only thing that's going to be showing up around my door is vultures.
Yeah.
Okay. Save your family the fucking aggravation. Stop being a hard-headed asshole. If you're 85 and you can't even walk out of the house anymore, okay, and you got a garage full of shit, do your family a favor and start selling stuff while someone's around that knows what you got and what it's worth. And I hate to say it, it's almost to the point it is becoming it's a responsibility as gearheads that we need to take. It's part of it. It's part of learning how to turn the wrench and learning how to sell the shit. And I hate to say that because you got to remember we're dealing with the boomers and it's the first generation of the car culture dying and not knowing what to do beforehand.
We all know.
My great grandpa was never worried about a collection of cars to get rid of. I mean, this is a thing that's a topic.
You know what the big leveler is, Joe? We all know the realities of life and life and death. We all do, and we all know that as you're getting older, it's getting closer. The wild card is how fast it can come when you don't expect. Yeah. I mean, we've all known guys who have out of the blue just got sick or had a stomach ache one day, and now in a month they're gone. Yeah. And that's the train wreck that we don't.
That's a different story, but yeah,
right.
It is. It's terrible.
Yep.
Yeah. I just had my buddy here pass away last fall, and he's got a garage full of street rods and everything, and he got cancer, and that was the end of it. I mean, he didn't last long, and he died alone. He lived by himself. He was divorced, and it was sad. I was really upset about it. He was a very dear friend, and he wasn't dead yet. And people were calling me going, hey, what's he doing with this and that and this and that? And I'm like, vultures. Yeah. I get phone calls all the time that, so-and-so passed away and they got a CUDA in the garage and, will you want to come and look at it? Maybe you're interested. I won't. I will not. If somebody calls me and someone's died, I will not go get involved because I just stay away from it. I don't want to be a vulture.
Yeah. That's a good topic. I'm gonna have to use
deals, but I just don't want to be that guy.
I'm gonna have to use that as a topic for one of our shows. That's a good topic. Really is.
Give it a few weeks though.
It's a topic nobody wants to talk about because it's the first time it's happened in our car culture.
Yeah, you're right.
Yep. Hey, you know what? I got to jump off. So Joe, listen, your family in here. You can come anytime you want. Come hang out with us, or if you have something to promote, you're always welcome to come through.
Yeah, I got to prep this CUDA to put an LS in it.
I'm going to promote before I go that you're putting a Hemi in it. And don't forget the Builders Brawl, May 3rd through the 4th in Cordova, Illinois. You can go camping. It's going to be a great event. Go to buildersbrawl.com or check us out on 0 to 60. The new episode, the latest episode, episode 3, airs Monday night. I just watched it today. It's really good. We had to make some few changes. We held it back another week. But 0 to 60 to the front, and subscribe to 0 to 60 because it is the next gearhead streaming platform ran by gearheads, owned by gearheads, produced by gearheads, not none of this fake, bullshit like all these other networks trying to act like gearhead networks. All right, it's the real shit, the real deal, and go out, enjoy it. And it may not be, Discovery Channel when you start out, but we're starting out, we're doing everything we can. We're putting a lot of effort into it. You guys are going to love it. And thank you for watching. Thank you for listening to my rants and my bitches. But I got to go too.
All right.
And Terry, I will disown you if there's an LS in that thing, okay? I love you guys. Thank you for having me.
I'll be in touch.
Hey, Joe, listen, you can stay on. I'm getting off, but you can stay on if you want.
No, I gotta go myself. I got jet. I gotta go. So
hey, I appreciate you, bro.
I will be in touch. You guys enjoy the rest of your week and have a great weekend. Okay, guys?
All right, you too.
And Terry, keep working. See you, buddy.
So long, Joe.
All right, Joe. You want to let the other fellas in?
Let the other one
Bring in the board.
Hey, silly.
That guy is a trip.
Well, I didn't fall asleep.
Hey, fellas, I'll see you next week. I got to bounce. I got to go home. I got to drive 3 minutes home.
10 minutes. Yeah. All right, Louis.
Yeah.
We'll see you later.
All right, everybody have a good week.
All right.
Take care. Have a good weekend. Happy Easter.
Oh, boy, oh, boy, oh, boy. Hello, boys.
Good morning.
Good morning. Well, I didn't nap, that's for sure.
Yep.
That was a good show. That was a good show. I'm not surprised, and I've heard him talk about it before, but the people that are just so unappreciative, when he was talking about the Garage Squad.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate, but I think he mentioned it too, is look at where our society has gone.
Brian was talking about that last week with his tool customers.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, like the jobs I do at the shop, like even this stupid Jeep, every week the guy now has a new list and new things to add because he sees things happening. And it's like, oh, now can you do this? And now can you do that? And, like at one point before I had this electrical things figured out, and I told the owner at the shop, I said, look, it could be a major clusterfuck with this electric. A lot of wiring, a lot of diagnosis. And the guy says, oh yeah, we'll just rip everything out and diagnose it all and just, get it figured out. And I said back to the shop owner, I said, he has absolutely no idea what that entails.
Yeah.
Like to him, that means like just take stuff out of a box and put new stuff in. It's like he has no idea, and or what it's going to cost him to do that either, and I don't blame the customer all the time because, like in this guy's case, he's finally getting a fair shake because we did that Mustang for him and did it right. We fixed the stuff the other shops did wrong. So he sees he's getting treated correctly and there's someone looking out for him. But, now he wants sun visors and then it's going to be something else. It's like, we just want to get this thing out of here. It's like,
yeah,
the other Mustang's coming in a week. We got to go pick it up,
They'll never leave.
Yeah, well, it's gonna leave. It's definitely gonna leave. That's for damn sure.
And then it's well, why does it cost so much?
Well, so far the guy now. I don't know because I don't deal with the customer on that end. I don't deal with the customer at all, thankfully, and I certainly don't hand them the bill. But I know with the Mustang, we had that thing in 3 times, and I just know what my billable hours are, and then I kind of have an idea what parts cost sometimes. Usually it's more labor than it's parts with these cars because it's either something that was not taken care of or in the case of the Mustang done wrong, it just has to be done right. So it comes down, or it's diagnosing electrical problems. So it's all just, it's hours, it's book hours. And the guy paid he overpaid for the car, first of all. Then he paid to have work done 3 times, which was appreciable. And then he sold the car at a loss because his wife was up his ass, So he sells it. I know he took a big loss because he overpaid for the car in the first place. And then he shows up with this other car, this other vehicle. So dude's got the money. So like they were talking before about the checkbook guys, if we didn't have the checkbook guys or the credit card bikers that we used to call the biker crowd, then the mechanics wouldn't have anything to work on and the shop owners wouldn't have any jobs to take in. So it's a symbiotic relationship. Isaac, you need bad kids so you can have the rec room there. It's like if everybody was good and the kids didn't screw up, you'd be sitting there with your thumb up your ass doing a crossword puzzle.
Yep, trying to keep my eyes open.
So that's how it goes.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah, it just. The thing is, like, at least with your guy right now, he's paying. At least there's that relationship. I think the frustrating thing to hear is the people, and like I said, I've heard him talk about it before, where people have approached him at like a car show or whatnot, or some event, and they're harping on him that like the interior didn't get finished, or like he was talking about the air conditioning.
Right.
The guy hates him over the air conditioning, and your car was on a show. They helped get it jump started as far as the project, and take some pride and finish it. Be grateful for the fact that your car made it on the show, but also they did all this work. Yeah, I think he was talking about it earlier, where not only the parts they got, they got for free or got on a deal, but the labor was for free.
You're right. And watching the show, you could see after a while that there was. Now, I never knew that Joe was the actual lead guy. I always wondered who called the shots. I mean,
Yeah.
a lot of times he kind of stepped in and called shots, and I'm thinking, who the hell's he calling the shots? I didn't know that was his job.
That was his position. Yeah.
They never really said that, or if they said it, I never caught it. But so yeah, you look at a car that needs maybe an interior spruce up and a new carburetor and a gas tank and some brake work. Yeah, they could throw a Holly sniper on it, or they could do an AC system, because in the grand scheme of things, the budget, the work isn't as bad as the car that has the engine out of it, and the engine that's on the stand needs a rebuild, and the tranny needs a rebuild, and the rear end needs, those cars need the major. That's where the thrust of that budget's going.
Yeah.
Well, it's just like the difference between what they came out and did my Mustang, which is just a shell, versus a car that drove or had driven in the last 5 years.
Exactly. That's the point.
Like I said, if I was, in the position that way, I would be ecstatic to have the help to get it so that it rolled. It didn't have to start up and drive.
Well, actually, we got to clarify something. You wouldn't be happy to have the car worked on and roll, because you couldn't be sitting there watching anybody else working on your car. But theoretically, I follow your thought process.
Right.
You're right. Now, the other thing is, I could see where the guy with the AC, I don't remember what car it was. I don't know whatever they did to him. It was apparently a lot of work. But he was probably pissed off because he really wanted AC. And yeah, now his car drives, but he can't put AC in the car. He doesn't know how to work on the damn thing. So he's never going to get that done on his own. And shit, now he just had, maybe 80 grand worth of work done to the car for free. He doesn't want to pay for it. So now he's pissed off he didn't get it. Well, you know what? All right.
But yeah, I
don't go away, man. Just go away.
Yeah, exactly. Because look, 80 grand worth of work on it, you can cough up the, what is it, 5,000?
You know what?
Give or take. I mean, maybe more,
I paid what, $1,700 for my vintage air system for the box of parts.
Yeah.
To put it in, I don't know how many hours. I mean, you could figure it out. Yeah. So even if it was $5 grand, right?
Yeah. You have somebody do it for you or whatever. Right. You still got 80 grand worth of work, and all you're coming out of pocket is 5-10 grand. If you have somebody do it for you or whatever the case may be, and it's like, dude, get over it. Like you said, don't go away angry. Just go away.
I've seen it on so many different levels. Like, even we have a garden that does the lawn and stuff, and my wife and I'll come home and she'll say, I'll say, the gardener was here. She'll say, wow, how come you didn't get that weed over there? Or how come that's a little I'm like, listen, the guys blew through this yard in 10 minutes. Like, they missed a blade of grass. Big deal. No, but we're paying them. I'm like, call them up. Go on. Call them and tell them. It's like, big deal. Go over there, pick the weed.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, there's people like that out there. And I think with society, it's gotten worse. That, the saying I've heard my dad used to say is, gimme, gimme, my name is Jimmy.
There you go. Yeah.
And, there's people like that out there. It's unfortunate. I mean, as he was talking about it, and then he was talking about his Dodge truck, I was like, if somebody showed up like that and said, hey, we're going to give you a hand, get you started, you got to do the rest, but we're going to get you started, get your Dodge truck back on the road. I would be so happy, so thankful. So for me, it's knowing that there's people out there that can't be appreciative. That's just the way society, the way people are, but it's unfortunate. It really is.
Yeah. I mean, when you're whether you're the TV show, or if you're the guy on the corner, or if you're a store, if you're giving stuff away and offering people stuff for free, you're opening yourself up for exactly that, for having people find something to complain about, even though there's nothing to complain about.
That's why they ask me why I don't do stuff that I used to do.
Yeah.
What do you mean, Brian? What kind of stuff?
Well, I mean, I had 1 in 10 chance to win a smoker.
Oh, okay.
you know, and the guy wins it and tells me, you know, well, I don't want it, or you know, you're gonna buy it back, right? Or and I'm like, dude, you won this.
You want to donate it to charity if you don't want it.
I said, if you don't like it, you sell it.
Yeah.
You know, it was just dumbfounded. You know, it was constantly.
What do you enter the contest for?
Huh?
Like, what do you enter the contest?
I don't know. I mean, it's like, you know, yeah. Well, all right. Why? It's just like, I had 4 or 5 RC cars, you know, remote control cars. They weren't nothing super fancy. They were $100 car. You know, I mean, it wasn't anything. And it's like the guy wins it, and it's like, well, I really wanted, you know, this brand, or I wanted. I said, dude, why did he even join the? Why did he even get in the contest?
Yeah.
You know. So.
Yeah.
I've had guys complain when they won my money jug.
Really?
Yeah. So
was the jug? Was it because the jug was plastic and not glass?
No. This is too many ones. Why are there all these ones?
Oh, geez.
I don't think there's ever been a stripper complain about all the ones.
No.
So
exactly.
Or, you know, like you said, if I did win, what would I do with all the ones? I don't know, dude. Go to the strip club, or you just. I mean, dude, seriously, you're bitching about.
You know what? I'll tell you, I'm going to end the live stream so we can talk about what to do with the dollar bills.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, didn't mean to go there.
That's okay. So for Lewis Lee, Playing Traffic, Ray Guarino, Matt Coman, Brian, Isaac, Joe, everybody who was here, we'll be back next week. See you then. Bye.
Have a great weekend.